1-year review of the Grand Design Imagine 2600 RB for rear bathroom. I've been actually living in this now for a year, and Pete and I travel around here. We actually really like this camper, but there are some things that I don't like about it. I'm going to mainly focus on the inside stuff. There's not a lot on the outside to talk about that's any different than pretty much every other camper on the market. The only thing on the outside that I have found that I don't really like is right here on the heater. It just seems more sensitive than any other camper I've ever had to getting any type of high wind. Like right now we are in North Dakota. We're gonna stay here for I don't know how long. We're just basically duck hunting and hanging out. But it is, I pretty much have to be careful where to park my truck and stuff all the time, because at night my pilot is constantly blowing out, and it's been like that since the day it was new. It's just something I have fought since day one. So I kind of decided that whenever we head out of here, I was going to go look around some RV stores, get some ideas, and figure out a way to kind of help stop that a little bit, or at least some type of diverter for the wind. The only other thing on the outside that I'm a little bit disappointed in is I didn't notice it whenever I bought it, but literally you can see here that the awning actually has, like it was tweaked like this, and literally the first time I put the awning out and put it back in, there was no wind at all that day. I noticed it from day one, but I had already moved into it, and trying to take it back for service, being that I'm staying in it, has been pretty much impossible. So any little issues I've had with the camper, I've actually taken care of myself. But let's go inside, because this is really what it's all about, and we won't have to combat the wind. So inside, the shower, I'm 6'3", so the shower is actually a nice size. It works out pretty good. I don't really like the cheap fixtures and stuff, but that's typical in all campers. I'm gonna change those out, but I'm just kind of one of those guys where I can't bring myself to change something until it's actually bad. Toilet wise, everything that's all good, even for us big guys. And on the inside, all the blinds, everything function perfectly. They're actually really nice, and it's pretty roomy, for one person and a dog. So this only has one bedroom. I like just having one bedroom because that's all I need. But I got the option that actually came with the table instead of the dinette booth and stuff that would fold down into a second bed. Now, whenever I actually purchased this, I purchased the one with the dinette. But when I went to pick it up, I was trying to buy a leftover 2019. When I went to pick it up, they didn't have the leftover 2019 that I had purchased. So for the same price, they gave me this 2020 as long as I agreed to take it with the table, which is apparently an upgrade. Now you'll see, I for my purposes, I took out all the other chairs because I just needed one chair for whenever I'm sitting at the table working on stuff. But the dinette worked out great, because whenever I picked up little Pete, I was able to stick his crate in here, and that's where he likes to sleep at night. He just kind of goes right in whenever he's tired, and that's where he heads out to. So on the inside, the entertainment system and everything, no issues. You're able to plug in a little game system over here. That's, I have a small game system that I plug in, especially in the winter whenever it's cold and I don't really want to be outside as much, or if it's pouring down rain. The oven, the stove, everything. I actually haven't had any of the appliances give me any issues at all. I mean, They have all been excellent. The storage inside is really good. So I have no complaints there. And this one is actually the winter package. And with the winter package, you know, it's fairly well insulated. And especially like when it starts getting cold like it is here in North Dakota right now, I throw in the roof vent covers, and it tends to hold everything pretty well. So I don't have like overall on this camper, I'm not unhappy with the setup at all. But I will tell you, it came with the worst bed I had ever felt in any freaking RV. So I actually this is the mattress that I had before I got rid of my house, and I love this mattress. So I actually took this mattress. It was a king size, and this is only supposed to facilitate a queen size. But I call this kind of a queen plus now, because I took a king size mattress and then, you know, took a hot knife and took the covers off of it and cut it down into a queen plus. So I still have to buy king size sheets, but it's a lot nicer for somebody like me, my size, I should say. The storage in here is excellent. There is more storage than I actually use, and I have my whole life in here. So I used to, you know, I always thought I had a lot of stuff, but after I downsized, there's tons of storage. Now I know, you know, whenever you look at my bathroom, that there's actually stuff sitting on my sink, like PB Blaster and things. But that's because I'm always working on things, and whenever I actually stop and I know I'm going to be someplace for a while, I just get everything out so that I can actually access it pretty well. Another thing that I'm really, you know, and maybe I'm just picking here, but pretty much all RVs, like I bought the Grand Design because I had read a lot of things online about how they're actually like a little bit better build quality and stuff. I think build quality on all RVs is pretty crummy. But, you know, like if you just look around, you know, you pay a lot of money for these things, but like a lot of the screws and stuff, they're put in like, they put them in crooked. There's a lot of like finish work that wasn't really done. And, you know, once you stay in it for a while and you really look around, you could just tell that it's not quite, you know, up to what you would think in a pricey camper should be, you know. I do love the recliners. I don't have these plugged in right now because I don't really like the vibrate option. I will plug them in when it gets colder for the heat and stuff, but every time I move the camper, because I store stuff behind here, I store a pull-out cot and stuff in case somebody stops to visit and needs a place to stay. By storing the cot and things back there, it's constantly, you know, it always unplugs it. And it is a pain in the butt to get behind these recliners to actually reach the plugs to plug them back in. Another thing that I had an issue with as soon as I received it was one of the recliners, when you hit the vibrate button, it sounded like the chair was going to come apart. And I got a hold of the dealer, and of course they told me, you know, I'm thankful I didn't purchase the extended warranty, because I got a hold of the dealer, and of course they said, you know, hey, if you bring it in and leave it here, then we'll order parts and eventually get you a new recliner. But since I grew up working in an upholstery shop, I took it over to the family upholstery shop, and we tore the seat apart and actually fixed the vibrate function in there and put it back together. So, you know, I mean, it was just little things. The actual awning on the outside still bothers me, just because, you know, I know if I take it back now that they're going to say that it's because I had it out on high winds or something like that, but it's not true. I literally let it down, brought it back in. You know, I didn't have the tension set high or anything like that, and it still tweaked itself. I will also say that the oven on the inside is really small, but it heats up fast and it works really good. And the fridge and freezer that this comes with works much better than the one that I had in my Cherokee camper. I never lived in it. I just, you know, used it on the weekends and such, but the fridge that came from it new was it just didn't hold temperature and stuff like this one does. I never have an issue with that, no matter where we're traveling. But overall, I would say, you know, if you're looking for a weekend camper and you're looking for something that's pretty roomy and it's for a couple, the 2600 RB is pretty good. It has a few, you know, a few little things here and there that I wish were different. You know, like I wish I had a little more room walking around the bed, but I mainly use it for storage anyways, so I just kind of plop on the back of the bed here anyways and get in. But you know, when you get up at night, sometimes it would be nice to be able to, depending on which side of the bed you end up on, to walk around a little easier. The fact that I'm a giant doesn't help. But this is one of the few campers, and I looked at a lot of campers that was in my price range and seemed to facilitate bigger people. If you're tall like I am, this is a pretty good option. Pete kind of likes it too. He even likes the little, he likes the heat on the recliners whenever we turn that on and he's a little chilly. He'll jump up there on the recliner and curl up in a little ball. But if you have any more questions about it, or if you're considering actually purchasing one of these 2600 RBs, you know, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. I've been in it every day for a year and it tows nice. It's not too big to get into a lot of places, but it's big enough to actually, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm living pretty luxurious. Other times, you know, when I'm stuck in here for 4 or 5 days because it's just pouring down rain or freezing, it feels a little tight. So I am thankful I didn't go with a smaller model, because I was really torn as to what I should do as far as ease of towing by myself and having living space. So this one kind of fits the bill. The slide out, the one big slide out is really nice, because it's like I just need to worry about having the right amount of space on one side, and then I can just, you know, slide out my single slide out. It's big enough, and you know, like I said, for one person or a couple, there's plenty of room. All these cupboards in here are just, you know, that's all straight storage. And I guess, you know, I don't have a lot of clothes. I got one cupboard filled with some hunting clothes and the other one filled with, you know, regular clothes. I don't have hardly anything up in the top here. The storage tanks on this are actually pretty nice. You know, it has 2 gray water tanks and 1 black water tank, and then 1 of your potable water. The potable water, you know, anytime you're on the road, if you're not like hooked up to a hose someplace, potable water always seems like it's in, you know, short supply, high demand. So the potable water tank, at times I've wished that it was a little bit bigger, but then whenever I'm towing it, I really don't want the extra weight of the giant, you know, a giant water tank. All right. Well, everybody take care, and thanks for watching.